Before we go ahead, let's get acquainted with the navigation controls for this course. If you do not want to see this video, click Skip to continue directly to the course. These two buttons on the outside edges of the course screen are the primary navigation controls that allow you to move from one page to the next or the previous page. At the end of the current page, the next button starts blinking. At this point, you can click it to move to the next page. If at any point the next button does not blink, check the current screen for further instructions or directions. This is the course menu button. You can click it to see a complete list of all the modules, lessons, and screens in the course. You can click a screen title to launch the relevant screen. Below the menu, you have the Help button. You can click this button to see a list of all the navigation controls and their function. Click the star button to get a snapshot of your progress the course. The button at the bottom is the transcript button. Clicking this opens a panel along the right edge of the screen that displays the transcript for the course or steps.
Welcome to 74700W on supporting Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multichannel. This web course training is intended for those individuals who are responsible for supporting the Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multichannel solution. The content of this course will guide you through simple step-by-step video demonstrations and presentations associated to the building blocks of Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multichannel. After completing 74700W, implementing and administration of Avaya Aura CC Elite Multichannel, you should be able to describe problem-solving methodologies and troubleshooting methodologies, describe the installation process and prerequisites for Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multichannel, describe the steps required to configure the SQL server for reporting contact details in Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multichannel, describe how to install and troubleshoot the Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multichannel software. Describe T-Trace for use with Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multichannel. Describe the process of backup and restore of the Call Center Elite Multichannel databases. Describe failover and redundancy. At the end of this module, you should be able to describe the 5 stages of the Global Support Services troubleshooting methodology, map the 8D disciplines to software troubleshooting, understand the questions you need to answer when contacting GSS. The new approach to troubleshooting that we will be using is built on integrating the 8 disciplines within the 5 methodology troubleshooting stages above. The 5 troubleshooting stages are problem analysis, hypothesis development, hypothesis testing, remediation, prevention. The target is to reduce time to resolution for complex multi-product issues through a repeatable and systematic approach to troubleshooting within Avaya. Using the 8D methodology will better enable you to plan for issues. This includes identifying the challenges that lay ahead, designing for resiliency, documenting the design and baselining the performance, and monitoring logs and alerts. By using an easy-to-follow common troubleshooting technique, you and team members will improve time to resolution, TTR, reduce escalations, and improve productivity. Let's now look at what the 8D methodology entails and how it can be mapped to the Global Support Services troubleshooting methodology. The problem analysis stage begins when symptoms are first observed. There are two disciplines, D1 and D2. Discipline 1 is where you establish a team of people with product or process knowledge. Discipline 2 is where you specify the problem by identifying in quantifiable terms the who, what, where, when, why, how, and how many for the problem. These questions are often called the 5 W's and 2 H's, or the 5 whys and 2 hows. The hypothesis development stage begins as you look at the information available and try to determine what possible root causes may be. This stage contains the disciplines 3 and 4. Discipline 3 is to develop an interim containment plan. In this discipline, you define and implement containment actions to isolate the problem from any customer. Discipline 4 is determine and verify root causes and escape points. Here you will identify all applicable causes that could explain why the problem has occurred. Here you also identify why the problem was not noticed at the time it occurred. All causes shall be verified or proved. You can use 5 whys or Ishikawa diagrams to map causes against the effect or problem identified. The hypothesis testing stage contains Discipline 5, which verify permanent corrections, PCs, using pre-production programs, quantitatively confirm that the selected correction will resolve the problem. Basically, you are testing your hypothesis to verify that the correction will actually solve the problem. The remediation stage contains Discipline 6, define and implement and corrective actions, which defines and implement the best corrective actions. The final stage is prevention, that contains the disciplines D7 and D8. Discipline 7 is prevent recurrence, modify the management systems, operation systems, practices, and procedures to prevent recurrence of this and all similar problems. Discipline 8 is congratulate your team and recognizes the collective efforts of the team. The team needs to be formally thanked by the organization. Now, let's take a closer look at the 5 stages of the Global Support Services troubleshooting methodology. Stage 1 is problem analysis. Here we want to compose a complete picture of the issue and its business impact. We need to answer these questions. What happened? What still works? And what changed? When we ask what happened, we want an accurate and complete assessment of the service impacting issue and a documented and detailed description of the problem. When we ask what still works, we want the analysis of what processes are currently working and the documentation of their expected behaviors. When we ask what changed, we want an analysis of the environmental changes that took place before the service impacting issue began. These are the questions that need to be asked to define the Stage 1 problem analysis on what happened. What is the specific issue that is occurring? What systems or reports can be used to monitor and determine if the issue is still happening? What is the frequency and how widespread is the issue? What is the process for users such as call center agents to report specific incidents of the issue? What questions should the users be asked when reporting incidents to help narrow the investigation? These are the questions that need to be asked to define the Stage 1 problem analysis on what still works. Exactly when did the issue start happening? What areas of the solution are still working? What areas of the solution are and are not affected by the issue? What is the current business impact? These are the questions that need to be asked to define the Stage 1 problem analysis on what changed. What has changed in the environment prior to the issue being reported? What has changed in the environment since the issue was reported? Did any failover take place due to the reported issue? Did any planned outages or disaster recovery testing take place? In stage 2 is the hypothesis development. The evaluation of possible areas of trouble will need to be evaluated. You will need to use a broader scope to develop potential causes for the issue and separate the known good from the not good. This includes evaluating the network and capacities. Ask these questions to gain a better understanding of what is good and what is not. Has a similar network or capacity issue occurred before? Check knowledge management. What is the network topology of the solution? What is the bandwidth latency and occupancy of the network? Were any new redundancies or links added to the environment? What are the network device and service provider device versions? In addition to the network and capacities, systems and components need to be evaluated. Ask these questions. Has a similar system issue occurred before? Check the knowledge management system. Were any architectural changes implemented in the solution? What normal system configuration has taken place? What are the current versions of the solution elements? Are there standard configuration and solution diagram documents? In stage 3 is the hypothesis testing. The main concern is progressive testing focused on remediation of the business impact and isolating triggers of the issue. Through each cycle of testing, these are key questions that needs to be clearly documented. What did we test? What hypothesis or area of the solution did we test? What did we find? Do we need to dig further? Did we eliminate an area or system as a trigger? What are the next steps? What are we going to test next? Continue testing in the current area, a new area, or both? What are we doing in parallel? A little more details on what needs to be done in stage 3 is the capture potential triggers, which includes the following: testing previously formed hypotheses and capturing data to help separate and classify potential triggers as known good and not good. What have we learned from the diagnostic information? Will the isolation of the issue require deeper diagnostics? What is the business impact or client risk of using deeper diagnostics? In addition to stage 3 on hypothesis testing is the implement protections on reducing or eliminating the business impact to the client is the initial goal, which includes the following: what can be done to mitigate the risk caused by the issue? Was the issue addressed in a software patch or updated version? What is involved in implementing the protection? What monitoring is necessary after implementation of the protection? Through each cycle of testing, potential triggers are analyzed, looking for the signature of the issue. These potential triggers are analyzed. How can the issue be isolated and captured? What level of diagnostics needs to be used? What is the business impact or client risk in using the advanced diagnostics? How will we know if the fault signature of the issue has been captured? Now that you have implemented the first 3 stages, it is time for the correction of the issue or issues that were identified. In stage 4 is the remediation stage. This is where we leverage captured fault signatures to remediate any known causes found through hypothesis testing. By finding and addressing the root cause of issues, we develop a remediation plan to correct and eliminate the cause of the issue, such as the following: what is the signature and root cause of the issue? What is the fix for the issue? When will a fix for the issue be available? What is the impact of leaving a workaround in place until the fix is available? Finally, the last stage is stage 5, prevention. Here we now have final resolution and implementation of future protections against the issue. We were able to verify and prevent the root cause, implementation of a fix and processes to prevent the issue from occurring in the future. Are there multiple systems that need to be touched to fix the issue? How will the fix be implemented? What monitoring is needed after the fix is applied? Have other processes, including knowledge management, been updated to ensure protection against this issue? When can the issue be closed? Let's review the 8 disciplines. There are actually 9 disciplines now defined in the 8D model. They are Discipline 0, preparation through Discipline 8, recognized team and individual contributions. Each of these disciplines can be applied to troubleshooting networking. At the end of this module, you should be able to describe how to narrow the fault domain, list what customers need to answer during the data collection phase, list the log file locations for Call Center Elite and Call Center Elite Multichannel. We can use several W questions to attempt to narrow the fault domain. Let's begin with the who questions. Who is impacted? Is the issue affecting one or more users? Are the users accessing the same systems, same location, same VLAN? Can the incident be narrowed to a single switch, wiring closet, server, network, and so on? And who is the user that is not impacted? Next, let's look at the what questions. What has changed and what protocols are affected? Finally, let's look at the when questions. These questions deal with our timeline. When did the problem begin? Is the problem intermittent or continuous? If the problem is intermittent, are there ways to force the problem to occur? The troubleshooting documentation for non-outages is divided into 2 stages, creating a detailed description of the problem and then collecting data. For the detailed description of the problem, provide the following. Problem description. When the problem started. Frequency of the problem. Is this a new installation? Recent changes, upgrades? Problem in the knowledge base. www.avaya.com/support. When collecting data, collect the information. Show date and show running config. Show routing information for suspected routing issue. Gather current patch information. Show software patch all. Copy configuration files. Copy log files. One of the key areas where we look for information when we are having network outages or performance problems is log files. These files are included in the show full tech and show tech commands used as part of the data collection process. But as you go through and change things, you will want to look at them multiple times. For Call Center Elite Multichannel, a log file directory is configured on the Elite Multichannel server in c:\emc logs. Each server application has properties configured to point to the log file directory. Describe what is required to solve software problems. Describe what is required to submit good problem reports by gathering information from the network and log files. Describe the prerequisites for Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multichannel and the installation process. Describe potential problems with installation for Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multichannel. There are 4 main components for Call Center Elite Multichannel. The Avaya Aura Communication Manager uses System Manager to configure the communication resources, such as agents, stations, extensions, and vectors. It uses the Avaya Application Enablement Services and TSAPI to communicate with the Call Center Elite Multichannel XML server. The Call Center Elite Multichannel XML server contains a number of server applications that are installed individually or using the Quick Installer. The multimedia database is configured using the components of the Elite Multichannel XML server. When you are ready to configure the Call Center Elite Multichannel Agent Desktop and Reporting, you can copy the installer over to the desktop and choose to install the Agent Desktop and Reporting application, one the same client workstations, or separate workstations. The supported platforms for the Call Center Elite Multichannel Server Operating System are Microsoft Windows Server 2008 SP1 64-bit, Microsoft Windows Server 2008 SP2 32-bit or 64-bit, and Microsoft Windows Server 2012 R2 Standard. The supported platforms for Desktop Client Operating System Call Center Elite Multichannel Client Operating System are Microsoft Windows 10 Professional and Enterprise, 32-bit or 64-bit, Microsoft Windows 8.1 Professional and Enterprise, 32-bit or 64-bit, Microsoft Windows 8.0 Professional and Enterprise, 32-bit or 64-bit, and Microsoft Windows 7.0 SP1 Professional, Enterprise, and Ultimate, 32-bit or 64-bit. The supported Microsoft SQL Server are Microsoft SQL Server 2008 Standard, Express, and Enterprise, 32-bit or 64-bit. Microsoft SQL Server 2008 R2, 64-bit. Microsoft SQL Server 2012 Standard, Express, and Enterprise, 32-bit or 64-bit. Microsoft SQL Server 2014 Standard, Express, and Enterprise. Before installing and administering CC Elite Multichannel, let's set up the following initial configurations of the CC Elite Communication Manager. Configuring Expert Agent Selection, EAS, and BCMS/VU to support skill-based routing. Configuring dialing analysis for valid extension digits and length. Configuring feature access codes and abbreviated dialing system list for call center agent, log in, log out, AUX, auto in. Configuring COS and COR for console permission, service observe or observer, and calling permission. Configuring CC Elite Multichannel Hunt groups for EMC, Adjunct, EMC Voice, EMC Chat, EMC Preview, EMC Email, and EMC OB, and verify multiple call handling is set to many forced. Configuring agent login ID and associating with multi-channel skill group. Configuring CTI stations for chat, preview, email, and OB outbound. Configuring announcements and music in Communication Manager and upload WAV files to the AAMS server. Configuring EMC Adjunct VDN, EMC Voice VDN, EMC Chat VDN, EMC Preview VDN, EMC Email VDN, and EMC OB VDN. Configuring EMC ADJ Vector, EMC Voice Vector, EMC Chat Vector, EMC Preview Vector, EMC Email Vector, and EMC OB Vector. The Communication Manager needs to be configured to communicate with the AES server. To do that, the following tasks need to be performed. Verify CM has the required licenses in the System Manager Administration under Licenses. Configure and enable the required system parameters feature options in CM, such as the UCID and UCID unique number. Configure the AES node IP address. Enable AES IP service and configure AES server node name and switch password. Configure the CTI link to AES. The AES needs to be configured to communicate with Communication Manager. To do that, the following tasks need to be performed. Verify AES licenses are present. Configure switch connection between AES and Communication Manager. Configure TS API link. Add CTI user with unrestricted access. Verify the status of the TS API service. The following are the pre-installation requirements on the Windows 2012 server. Installing .NET Framework 4.5.2. Installing IIS. Installing SQL Server. Log into your assigned Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multichannel server. Open the EMC 6.5 folder on your desktop, and then the EMC 6.5 extracted folder. Open Utilities folder. Open Microsoft.NET Redistributable. Double-click on NDP 452-KB 290-1907-X64-AIIOS-ENU. Checkbox I have read and accept the license terms. Select Install. Select Finish. close Microsoft.NET Redistributable folder. Right-click on Start and select Shutdown or Sign Out. Select Restart and continue. On the server desktop, click Server Manager, Dashboard. On the Welcome to Server Manager screen, click Add Roles and Features. Click Next. On the Select Installation Type screen, select Role-Based or Feature-Based Installation and click Next. On the Select Destination Server screen, click Select a server from the server pool. In the Server Pool section, select the server and click Next. On the Select Server Roles screen, select Web Server IIS. If you are prompted to add roles and features, click Add Features and click Next. On the Select Features screen, perform the following steps if they are not already completed. Select PointNet Framework 3.5 features. Click Next. On the Web Server Role IIS screen, click Next. On the Select Role Services screen, perform the following steps if they are not already completed. In Common HTTP Features section, select the following components: Default Document, Directory Browser, HTTP Errors, Static Content, HTTP Redirection. In Health and Diagnostics section, select the following components: HTTP Logging, Logging Tools, Request Monitor, Tracing. In Performance section, select the Status Content Compression component. In Security section, select the following components: Request Filtering, Basic Authentication, Windows Authentication. In Application Development section, select the following components. Note, if you are prompted to add roles and features, click Add Features. .NET Extensibility 3.5, .NET Extensibility 4.5. Application Initialization. ASP.NET 3.5. ASP.NET 4.5. CGI. ISAPI extensions. ISAPI filters. Server-side includes. WebSocket protocol. In Management Tools section, select the following components: IIS Management Console, IIS6 Management Compatibility, II6 Metabase Compatibility, IIS Management Console, IIS6 Scripting Tools, IIS6 WMI Compatibility, IIS Management Scripts and Tools. Click Next. Select Specify an alternate source path. Enter d:/source/SXS and OK. On the Confirm Installation selection screen, click Install. After the installation is complete, click Close. Close the dashboard when complete. Log into your assigned Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multichannel server. Right-click on the Start and select Run. Enter CMD. In the command line, type $online/enable-feature/feature name netfx3 /all/source:/d:\sources:/SXS where D represents the path to the Windows 2012 server software. Wait until the operation completed successfully. Close CMD window. Open the EMC_6.5 folder on your desktop. Locate and double-click on SQL 2012 expradv_x64_enu.exe file. Select New SQL Server Standalone Installation or add features to an existing installation. On the license file, select I accept the license's terms and click Next. Click Next on the product updates. Please install the updates on the production server. Click Select All and click Next. Click Named Instance and click Next. Click Next. Select Mixed Mode in Authentication Mode. Type the password field. Confirm. And click Next. Click Install and Configure and click Next. Click Next. The installation progress window appears. The installation complete window is displayed. Click Close. The high-level installation steps for WebLM installation are installing Java, installing Tomcat, installing WebLM. Please launch video for installing Java. Log into your assigned Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multichannel server. Open the EMC_6.5 folder on your desktop. Open Java folder. Select 64-bit folder. Double-click JRE-7U40-Windows-X64. Run the JRE-7U17-Windows-X64.exe file and click Install. A progress window displays. When complete, a success window displays. Click Close. Close 64-bit Java window. Right-click this PC and select Properties. Click Advanced System Settings. Click the Advanced tab. Click Environment Variables. The system displays the Environment Variables dialog box. In the System Variables list, click New. In the Variable Name field, type Java_Home. In the Variable Value field, type C:\program files /Java/JRE7. Click OK. Close Environment Variables window. Close the System's Properties window. Close System window. Run the Apache-Tomcat-7.0.55.exe file from the EMC_6.5_0_3/utilities/weblm folder. Click Next. Click I agree on the License Agreement screen. On the Choose Component screen, perform the following steps. Expand the Tomcat node and select the Service Startup and Native checkboxes. Select the Host Manager checkbox. Click Next. We will not be entering the optional name and password. Click Next. On the Java Virtual Machine screen, select the install location of the JRE and click Next. On the Choose Install Location screen, click Install. On the Completion screen, click Finish. Select Notepad. The README file opens and close file. Right-click this PC and select Properties. Click Advanced System Settings. Click the Advanced tab. Click Environment Variables. The system displays the Environment Variables dialog box. In the System Variables list, click New. In the Variable Name field, type Catalina_Home. In the Variable Value field, type the install location of Tomcat 7.0.55. Click OK. In the System Variables list, select the Path Environment variable and click Edit. In the Variable Value field, type a semicolon after the existing value and then type $Java_Home%\bin. Click OK. Select OK to Environment Variables window. Select OK to the System's Properties window. Close System window. Close WebLM folder. Right-click on the Start and select Run. Type services.msc. Right-click on Apache Tomcat and select Stop and close window. Open EMC 6_5_0_3 on the server desktop. Open EMC 6_5_0_3 folder. Open Utilities folder. Open WebLM folder. Right-click and copy the weblm.war file to the Web Apps folder in the Tomcat installation directory. In the Web Apps folder, create a folder named WebLM. Change the extension of weblm.war to zip. Right-click on weblm.zip and extract all contents of the weblm.zip file to the newly created WebLM folder. Open the folder C:\program files /Apache Software Foundation /Tomcat7.0 /conf. Select the server.xml file. Make a copy of the server.xml file named server_orig.xml. This is for backup purpose. Click Start, Run. In the Run dialog box, type %Catalina_home %bin. Verify that there is no tncative-1.dll file. From the Utilities /WebLM folder, open the sample server.xml file in a text editor such as Notepad. Since there is no tncative-1.dll file, copy the following connector tag from the sample server.xml file. Look for connector settings without APR. From the Tomcat installation directory's conf folder, open the default server.xml file in a text editor. And paste the copied connector tag at the end of the file, but before the >/service> tag. For the connectors on the ports 8080 and 8009, update the value of the attribute redirect port from 8443 to 52233. Select Save. start the Windows Services application. In the Services window, click the Apache Tomcat 7.0.xx service and click Restart --automatic. In your browser, start Apache Tomcat by typing https://server IP greater than :/webLM/index.jsp in the address box of your web browser. Accept the security certificate error. Log in as username, admin. Password, WEBLMADMIN. The first screen asks you to change your password. Change the password to Avaya 123!! Log on using the new credentials, username, admin password, Avaya 123!! Click Install License. Click Browse to navigate to the license file on your server. You have to select the license file that corresponds to your position in the lab. Click Open to upload the license file. Accept the license terms and conditions. Click Install. Verify CC Elite Multichannel licenses installed successfully. At the end of this module, you should be able to describe the deployment of Avaya Aura Contact Center Elite Multichannel. The Quick Install is an application built into the software. The Quick Install is most applicable for brand new or green installation. It takes all of the default configuration parameters, so to customize for your system, and installs all of the applications including the Elite Multichannel Core and integration database services. The CC Elite Multichannel Quick Installer has two modes of installation, the attended and the unattended installations. The custom installer allows you to change the configuration parameters for each server application. You can choose which components to install and only install the components that are needed. If you are upgrading your Elite Multichannel server, this is the better mode of installation. If you have several servers installations on CC Elite Multichannel software, such as a larger contact centers, use the individual server utilities to install your applications. Multiple server and desktop applications exist when you install Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multichannel. The installation order of the prerequisites is important. You can use the Quick Installer or a manual install for the server and desktop components. At the end of this module, you should be able to create a checklist to evaluate why databases are not configured properly. Create a checklist to evaluate why the servers are not displayed in the Elite Multi-Channel Control Panel. Application Management Director, AMD, and Call Center Elite Multi-Channel Control Panel work together to manage Call Center Elite Multi-Channel applications from a central point. Call Center Elite Multi-Channel applications can register themselves with AMD, and you can manage the applications through Call Center Elite Multi-Channel Control Panel. The License Director, Media Director, and XML Server are Call Center Elite Multi-Channel applications that will generate alarms or state change notifications when a change occurs in the working state of the application. The AMD is the application that collects alarms from Call Center Elite Multi-Channel applications. The collected alarms are then relayed to an appropriate person who can view and work on the alarms. A common issue on the XML server is the T-Link connection. Verify that the TSAP client is installed with the correct AES IP address and certificates are correct and placed in the AES client folder. If the database isn't visible, verify you have the correct IP address for the SQL server and check the ports matches the recommended settings for your system. If the servers does not appear in the control panel, verify multicast IP address is updated on the .ini file. If the server doesn't appear in your Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multi-Channel Control Panel, ensure that each server is installed and initially configured. Use the alarms and notifications elements in the Elite Multi-Channel Control Panel to focus on activities on License Director, Media Server, XML Server. At the end of this session, you should be able to describe T-Trace for use with Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multi-Channel. Use the T-Trace console to collect log files. Use the Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multi-Channel T-Trace tool for troubleshooting. The T-Trace system receives logs or traces from Call Center Elite Multi-Channel applications, such as Media Director, Voice Media Store, and Email Media Store, and stores the information to a file system. The received logs or traces are based on the originator and stores the outputs in a file system on a server. The T-Trace console fetches information of the processes from T-Trace server and displays the working processes online. The high-level installation steps for T-Trace installation. Installing T-Trace on the monitored server. Installing T-Trace on the client computer. Exploring T-Trace applications. Troubleshooting using T-Trace on T-Link. Archiving log files. From the EMC_6.5_extracted folder on your server, click Setup.exe. On the Trace System Server dialog box, verify the name of the computer where you are installing the trace system is in the server box, then click Next. On the Application Selection window, select Server. Select Trace System. Click Next. Read and review the license agreement. Click I accept the terms in the license agreement. Then click Next. On the Choose Setup Type window, select Complete. Click Install. When the installation is complete, click Finish. Click Exit to close the installer. Copy the installation folder EMC_6.5_ extracted to the desktop where you plan to install the T-Trace application. From the EMC_6.5_ extracted folder on your server, click Setup.exe. On the Trace System Server dialog box, verify the name of the computer where you are installing the Trace System monitor is in the server box, then click Next. On the application selection window, select Server. Select Trace System. Click Next. Read and review the license agreement. Click I accept the terms in the license agreement, then click Next. On the Choose Setup Type window, select Complete. Configure the applications you want to install. In our lab, we are installing all components. Click Install. When the installation is complete, click Finish. Click Exit to close the installer. On your desktop, navigate to C:\Program Files, x86 Avaya, Avaya Aura CC Elite Multichannel. Server, Trace System. Locate the TT_console application. Double-click the TT_console application to start it. At this point, you will see all windows are launched. Click File, Other Server. Highlight Localhost 10401. Checkbox No automatic opening of process windows. Click OK. From the T-Trace console, select an output file. Double-click on AXML server. Notice the list of trace information in the log files. Select File and exit. Close Trace System window. Double-click the Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multichannel Control Panel shortcut on the desktop. The Call Center Elite Multichannel Control Panel opens. From the navigation pane, expand the Call Center Elite Multichannel node to view and expand the XML Server node. Expand XML Server component. Expand Telephony Servers. Right-click on Telephony subcomponent and select Edit. Under Telephony Server, modify T-Link username to EMC-CT12. Right-click and select Save and Close. Right-click on T-Link and select Refresh. Verify link state equals down. From the Elite Multichannel server, double-click the computer icon. From C drive, navigate to Program Files, x86, Avaya, Avaya Aura CC Elite Multichannel, Server, Trace System. Double-click on tt_console.exe. Double-click on AXML Server. Verify message, C service module, remove T-Link down, end major event, CTID 2660 caught ACS universal failure conf. Switch back to the control panel on the server. Right-click on T-Link node and enter the correct T-Link username equals EMC-CTI. Right-click and select Save and Close. Right-click on T-Link and select Refresh. Verify link state equals up. Switch back to Trace and find T-Server link up. Verify T-Link is up. Select File and exit. Close Control Panel on the server. From the Windows Start menu, click All Programs, Avaya Aura CC Elite Multichannel, Server, Trace System, tt_log2zip.exe. In the log2zip application, you can determine a period, enter a name for the zip file, and select the files to be archived. Configure the settings to archive the logs for today, but do not archive the Windows error reporting crash dumps. Click Archive. Verify data successfully archived and select OK. Select Exit tt_log22zip window. Open C drive and verify log-2018_11_14.zip is present. Right-click and select Extract All to the desktop. Open log2zip.log file and verify all logs are extracted. Double-click on the Program File folder and verify logs for all components are present. You can send this for evaluation to support. The Avaya trace system receives logs or traces from call center elite multi-channel applications and distinguishes logs based on originator and stores the information to a file system or a remote computer. The T-Trace console is used to view outputs from remote computer. The log-to-zip.exe is used to zip a file for sending to support. At the end of this session, you should be able to describe the backup and restore of the call center elite multi-channel databases. The database backup is a representative copy of data. When the original data is lost, you can use the backup to reconstruct lost information. This copy includes important parts of your database, such as the control file, archive logs, and data files structures. In the event of a media failure, your database backup is the key to successfully recovering your data. The backup strategy should be tailored to the needs of your business. A full database backup backs up the whole database. This includes part of the transaction log, so that the full database can be recovered after a full database backup is restored. As a database increases in size, full database backups take more time to finish and require more storage space. This can be supplemented with a series of differential database backups. A differential backup captures only the data that has changed since that full backup. You can recreate a whole database in one step by restoring the database from a full database backup to any location. Transaction log is included in the backup to let you recover the database to the time when the backup finished. The restored database matches the state of the original database when the database backup finished, minus any uncommitted transactions. Under the full recovery model, you should then restore all subsequent transaction log backups. The high-level installation steps for T-Trace installation. Installing T-Trace on the monitored server. Installing T-Trace on the client computer. Exploring T-Trace applications. Troubleshooting using T-Trace on T-Link. Archiving log files. On the Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multi-Channel server, click on the Start button and select the down arrow. Double-click on the SQL Server Management Studio. In the Connect to Server box, log in with SA and SA password. Click Connect. Expand Databases. Right-click ACS. Then click Tasks and select Backup. Configure the properties of your backup, including which database and location. Click OK. Verify the backup of database ACS completed successfully. Select OK. Select File and exit. Double-click on this PC. Select C drive. Program Files. Microsoft SQL Server. MSSQL11.SQL Express. MSSQL Backup. Verify ACS.BAK is present and close window. On the Avaya Aura Call Center Elite Multichannel server, click on the Start button and select the down arrow. Double-click on the SQL Server Management Studio. In the Connect to Server box, log in with SA and SA password. Click Connect. Expand Databases. Right-click ACS, then click Tasks and select Restore, followed by Database. Select Source =Database =ACS. Select Destination Database as ACS. Verify the backup file is selected. Select OK. Verify database ACS restored successfully. Select OK. Select File and exit. A backup is a representative copy of data. When the original data is lost, you can use the backup to reconstruct lost information. Use the SQL Server Management Studio to back up and restore the data in all multi-channel databases. At the end of this session, you should be able to identify server applications that support redundancy. The Media Director, License Director, and XML servers supports redundancy. If the primary XML server fails and a secondary XML server is configured for an application, the application automatically connects to the secondary XML server. After connecting to the secondary XML server, the application continues to deliver the work items. This process does not require restarting the application. The time that the application takes to connect to the secondary XML server depends on the number of configured phantom stations. For each phantom station, the application takes about 0.1 second. If the primary XML server fails and a secondary XML server is not configured for an application, the application tries to recover the connection with the primary XML server after every 60 seconds. After the connection recovers, Media Director continues to deliver the work items, and Call Center Elite Multi-Channel Desktop starts receiving the work items. A selection of Elite multi-channel servers are able to be duplicated to provide a level of redundancy, such as the License Director, Media Director, and XML server.